Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1196. That's right, episode number 1196 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live again today from Red Morton Park because the sun's already set. This is day 28 of the GNA Positivity Challenge, and today we've got a great topic. When the past comes back to haunt you. When the past comes back to haunt you. And I've learned my lesson in my younger days regarding the past coming back to haunt me. But nowadays, because we have social media and people are on YouTube, which is where I'm at right now, right? People don't realize that their past actions have consequences. Hey, babe, how you doing? Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, as soon as I flipped the stream to public, she was already here. Did you get the notification right away, babe, or did you see it pop up on your home screen? You know how this game works, right? It's not even a game, but you know how the YouTube thing works. Can you hear me clearly and see me clearly? We've got a great show for you today. Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's 50 degrees. I've got my gloves on. I'm not triple layered up, but I probably should start triple layering up. It's been getting pretty cold. It's been getting into the high to mid to high 40s overnight. It'll probably dip down below 50 before this stream is over. Hey, Tia, how's it going? I put YouTube on and refresh until I see the show. Oh, okay. Well, as soon as I flipped it to public, when you refresh, it shows you the upcoming stream. And then a minute or two later, I go live. Maybe I'll start pre-planning these shows again. Maybe I'll start pre-planning them, and that way people will have several hours of notice, right? Audio check, sound good? Can you folks hear me clearly and see me clearly? Today we're talking about when the past comes back to haunt you. Doing quite well, Tia. Thank you so much. Tia, you are amazing. Thank you for the beautiful gift. Yes, Tia, we got your second gift in the mail today. The first one was perfect. But you're just like us, Tia. You're just like us. You don't stop until you know it's absolutely perfect. And you know what? We appreciate you for your efforts, but you did not have to do that. That's very kind of you. And we're just very grateful and thankful for you. I was going to reach out to you privately behind the scenes, which I still will, to thank you. But you're here right now, and literally the mail just showed up right before I headed out to the park. So I gave it to Dawn, then I just headed out to the park. Man, it's cold. Anyway, I hope your weekend is going well. Lots of sales going on. If you need to get something, get it now on Amazon or any of your favorite retailers where you get your stuff, get your essentials. They're all a good deal right now for the most part. I was tracking it and wondering if you got it. It's much nicer. They're both very beautiful, and it's the thought that counts more than anything, Tia, and thank you very much for that. Anyway, when the past comes back to haunt you, I was inspired to do this show today because a YouTuber I was talking about yesterday, maybe not even really a YouTuber, just someone that creates very emotionally overreactive drama content. It's a gentleman that doesn't use his real name on YouTube. He goes by the stage name of MJ. Capital M, capital J. MJ, I'm sure you're watching me right now. You've got those notifications on. You've got me subscribed with the bell on, getting all notifications, right, MJ? It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So, MJ, a gentleman that's been a part, or at least in the past was a part of this community that stems from the creator I'm in a current lawsuit with. And this guy MJ used to work very, very closely with the defendant that I'm suing in this circuit civil case for defamation, malicious prosecution, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And I guess my truthful, genuine, heartfelt, and very professional thoughts that I mentioned yesterday, MJ, really hit a nerve. And I wasn't trying to hit a nerve. I'm just here to help people, and I'm here to just clear the lane from this group that you claim to no longer be a part of, and maybe you aren't, MJ, but you still talk about them and you still talk about me, and that makes you fair game. I'm not going to attack you. I'm not going to do anything wrong. I'm going to correct the record each and every time until you and everyone else from that group just leaves me alone. Right? You can talk about me all you want, but if you're going to talk about me, even, within your First Amendment rights, I'm going to respond and correct the record every time. That's just how it goes, right? But MJ, you're going to want to listen up because, I've got some things to talk about here today that you mentioned. Can Tia and Dawn do me a favor? It's that one troll, either the Louisiana man or the defendant. It's one of those two. Just keep banning them immediately, okay? Hey, Lewis Fuller, good evening. How are you doing? Good evening, Eli, and everyone else in the stream. Hey, great to see you here. 2 days in a row, man. Thank you. I've got to make one of your streams soon, Lewis. I really do. It's been insane, but it's going to clear up. My apologies to you. You're a good man. Very good man. Yeah, do me a favor. Put a one in the chat, Dawn and Tia. Please, if you can keep an intensely close eye on the trolls and ban them right away. It's that same person. It's either the Louisiana man or the defendant, one or the other. They're the only two that are emotionally invested enough to even want to put in the effort to create suck counts at the level that they do, let alone sit here and just load up 10 or 20 of them per stream. I'm doing great tonight. That's great to hear, Lewis. That's great to hear. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about this MJ. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for, I'd say, probably 7 or 8, probably 8 years now, right? And I don't really think he's a bad guy. But I do think he's very emotionally overreactive, and that's why he fit well with that group in the past. That entire group run by the defendant, in my opinion, is extremely emotionally overreactive, right? And when people in that group don't get their way, or you call them out on the truth, or, you just happen to be a better person than they are in every aspect of the meaning. These people look at you and they react and overreact, and they project their insecurities onto you because they wish they could be in your shoes. That's the truth of the matter. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the truth of the matter, right? So, MJ's been talking a little bit about me lately. He's technically no longer a part of the group run primarily by the defendant. That group has been led by the defendant to have this maybe 6+ or even longer, 6+ year ongoing smear campaign. And here's the thing, MJ. You were a part of that smear campaign back in those days. I hope you're paying attention because I'm going to share some updates here for my community and teach a lesson at the same time, right? To not stick your nose into business that doesn't belong to you. It's none of your business. But hey, if you're going to stick your nose into it and you're going to reinsert yourself and you're going to keep on creating more issues for me out here through the YouTube algorithm and all that, then we're going to address it. We're going to correct the record. That's what we do. So, MJ, you mentioned recently that you used to make cartoons on me. I'm not going to mention the title. It starts with the C word, right? It starts with the C word. It starts with the C word. I'm not going to say it, but it's a very derogatory word. And you made a cartoon series based on me. You used actual parts of my live streams verbatim, and then you changed the voice slightly to sound similar to my voice, but a little bit more high-pitched, right? You also used my real name in your videos, right? And your videos, some of them ended up being defamatory. They were lies. They were depicting me. They were depicting me in a negative light. And I don't know if you remember this, MJ, but you were paid the same sponsor that was sponsoring the defendant. You were paid a lot of money to get your film going that you were working on. I heard, this is my opinion, from what I heard, in my opinion, you were paid at least 50, maybe 100 grand to get this movie script of yours going, right? And at the same time, you were making these cartoons, right? Now, I don't have the proof that that sponsor, paid you for that, but I can get the proof, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, MJ, because you want to insert yourself. If you're going to come back and publicly ridicule me and spread lies about me, if you're going to publicly ridicule me and spread lies about me and overreact because, I don't know, you have nothing better to do, I'm going to correct the record and I'm going to do what I have to do. And you mentioned, MJ, that you no longer have those videos, right? That when the channel was deleted, you didn't back them up. I don't know whether to believe that or not. I'm sure you have a backup of it. I'm sure the defendant has all of them somewhere. But you want to know who has all of them? I do. I have all of them. I went back 4 external hard drives. I have everything clearly labeled. I have them all. I also have live stream panels that you and I did together on your channels in the past with the defendant on there as well. I've got a lot from the past. Remember, the title of this stream, MJ, is called when the past comes back to haunt you, right? You see, MJ, back in those days, this was over 5 years ago. So here's the thing, MJ. You know, don't worry about me suing you because the statute of limitations has passed. It's been over 5 years since you made those videos. I mean, can't sue you for defamation. Can't sue you for intentional infliction of emotional distress because that's 4 years. Defamation is 2 years. Can't sue you for right of publicity because I believe that's 4 years in most states, right? So let's just say, hey, if I wanted to take legal action on you for that series, I can't do it. But what I can do, MJ, and I think you know where I'm going with this, so does everyone else. What I can do, MJ, is use that as a pattern, an ongoing pattern of you acting in concert with the defendant and also being paid by the same sponsor to create constant, you know, defamatory and harassing type of content, including trying to use parody as a shield, right? So, I mean, you wanted to insert yourself. You want to keep talking about me. It's all good. You can talk about me all you want. But if you're gonna overreact, or if you're gonna say lies about me, or if you're gonna tell me you should drop this stupid case, well, the case is not stupid, MJ, because you may be becoming a part of the case. I'm gonna tell you why. Because those videos that you made were in collaboration with the defendant, and you know it, and that's what the both of you were working on together back then, over 5 years ago, right? Yeah. So, you know, I am thinking of potentially subpoenaing you and deposing you once my current circuit civil case goes into discovery, and deposing you over those videos, and deposing you, asking you questions on your relationship with the defendant at that time. You're going to have to answer under penalty of perjury that were you paid by this gentleman. His name starts with a B. I won't say his name. It starts with a B, right? The defendant was also paid by him. And under penalty of perjury, you're going to have to answer, were you specifically sponsored? I can't have you on, man. All right, we're back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. I'm sorry, I had to go off the air for a second because somebody was trying to get on the show that I can't have on the show. My lady says 1 respectfully, maturely, and professionally. So you were both compensated by the caregiving sponsor. Do you remember that, MJ? Remember the title of the stream, MJ, when the past comes back to haunt you, right? Or you know, the past comes back to haunt you, right? When the past comes back to haunt you. Hey, ODN, how you doing, broski? Great stream earlier today. Thank you so much, right? We're talking about MJ and how, you know, the past, you know, we're sharing things such as the past haunting people, right? Because what people did 5 years ago that thought they're going to get away, when they thought they were going to get away with it, you know, here we are, right? So, another thing, MJ, is I'm going to subpoena the former sponsor. I'm going to subpoena the former sponsor, and I'm going to ask him under penalty of perjury. Did you deliberately ever tell any of the people that you sponsored to make content specifically on me under penalty of perjury? And if I don't get a clear-cut answer, then I'm going to compel the court and I'm going to subpoena his financial records to show the transactions. I'm also going to subpoena, his social media and all that to prove that he was specifically paying you folks to make content on me. It's pretty obvious, MJ, that you would have never had the time or the money to make this cartoon series if it wasn't for the sponsor paying you, right? And you can get upset all you want, and you folks can say, "Oh, he can't subpoena." Of course I can, and I will, and I'm going to. Of course I am, because you folks just don't stop. The thing is, you don't stop. You will never stop until you're held accountable in the court of law, right? Oh, Dan, just to let you know, Don and Tia, they're just banning. It's either the defendant or the Louisiana person. The ladies are just banning them instantly, and we're not even looking to see what they say. They can tell which troll accounts are. They can tell which accounts are troll accounts. So yeah, we'll we'll subpoena you, and then we'll subpoena the former sponsor. And then let's see if these people perjure themselves or tell the truth, right? If they tell the truth, then that's more evidence of coordination and an ongoing smear campaign of the defendant acting in concert, including you. It's not just, here's the thing, the defendant has not only acted in concert with the other woman, which, by the way, she changed her channel name back to her original channel name. I wonder why. Maybe the stove got too hot. Okay. Maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. A little too late to do the right thing now. Just remember that. But anyway, so yeah. You folks will either tell the truth, which will further solidify my case with the defendant and stop all this coordinated nonsense between all of you for years of this smear campaign that is affecting me algorithmically and on YouTube, right? Or you're going to perjure yourselves, and then I want to prove your perjury because I have the proof of all this. Someone's really triggered tonight. I mean, it might be the defendant who's trolling because I think he's the only one that would be this triggered, right? He would be the only one that would be this triggered. I don't even think Louisiana man would be this triggered because the defendant is in a position where, his entire enterprise of smearing me and painting me as a criminal and doing all the stuff he's done to me is imploding literally in real time. Lap number 2. Let me switch cameras, and then I want to turn on the light in the front. And then when we get back into a brighter area, I'll put it back on me. He's triggered because he has... You're probably right, Lewis. How do I... Timeout? Babe, don't worry, because the person you timed out was also banned, and the ban overrides the timeout. Don't worry about it. You probably hit timeout by mistake, and so you're good. You're absolutely good. Was that what you were asking, babe? Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much, Lewis. I timed out ODN for how long? Okay. Go back to ODN. Let me go find, where's ODN? Where's ODN? Okay, hold on. All right, I just went back and I timed out ODN for only 10 seconds, and he'll be back. ODN, you'll be back in 10 seconds. I got it handled. ODN, if you're watching, Dawn timed you out by mistake because she has managing mod access and manager access as well. Yeah, you're welcome. ODN, let me know if you can come back in on your ODN account. Dawn timed you out. What happened, babe? Were you just hitting buttons too fast? You were trying to time out a troll, or you're trying to hit the wrong person? Okay. I fixed it, ODN. ODN, you know it was a mistake. ODN, here's the thing. You would let Dawn get away with everything and me not get away with anything. You know, ODN, that you would give Dawn a free pass every time, no matter what. But if that was me, I know you are. But if that was me, I'd never fucking hear the end of it. That's okay. That's okay. Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow, this is amazing. Look at the lighting in here. They're going to have a nice parking lot right here for the YMCA and the senior center when it moves. Look at this. See these lights? Look at that. Wow. Those are nice LEDs. They're going to put these all over the park. That's fantastic. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, MJ. You could talk about me all you want. It's your freedom of speech to do so, right? But if you say things about me that aren't true, and look, MJ, you have not defamed me. You have not defamed me in your videos. But yes, you've been insulting, which is protected speech, no problem. But even if you insult me, MJ, I'm gonna, or if you lie about me, I'm going to correct the record, defamation or not. Again, you're not defaming me, but you really feel the need to respond and react, just like I said yesterday. You made a couple of videos on me, not just one. You made a couple of videos on me, right? But I have to ask you, what is your deal? What is your deal? You asked me to drop this case. You told me this case is stupid. This case is not stupid, MJ, and you're about to find out yourself. You're about to find out yourself how this case really is not stupid and how real it is. Because I'm strongly considering subpoenaing you to testify about those videos, and I have all those videos. I have them all, and you know what? If we make those videos public record, then you might be able to download them from that link. If when we get to that point, and then I would have to file it with the court. But I'm sure you have them somewhere, or the defendant has them somewhere, right? You see, I know whether you're telling me that this lawsuit is stupid, right? But you also have said you're not fond of the defendant. You no longer hang around him. Here's the thing. If you are saying the lawsuit is stupid, in essence, whether you support him or not, you're coming off like you're more so supporting him, right? And if that's the case, then you're inserting yourself into something that you didn't have to. And that's all. Back on me now. You're inserting yourself back into something that you didn't have to. Right? But you felt the need because you couldn't contain your emotions. You felt the need to respond to me because you couldn't contain your emotions. All I'm doing is correcting the record and teaching a lesson. And sharing the truth of what's coming that none of you, including yourself, like, because you're going to be held accountable for your past actions, because your past has come back to haunt you, right? Your past has come back to haunt you, right? None of you ever thought that you'd be facing consequences for stuff you did on YouTube 5 years ago in a massive group style coordination to smear me, smear my name, right? To massively violate my copyright, my name and my likeness, exploit me for massive financial gain, exploit me through a third-party sponsor who I've been told, and we will question him on the, in a deposition at least, through discovery, possibly even at trial. If we get to that point, he will be asked about that. And financial records will be subpoenaed if you folks don't tell the truth. If you perjure yourselves to protect what you all know is the truth, in my opinion, right, then we'll subpoena financial records from everyone to show a digital trail of what you folks got paid and what you were getting paid for, because there are a lot of notes typically involved, right? You could have stopped. You could have stopped and you could have kept your mouth shut, but you didn't want to. You felt the need to talk about it. Okay, no problem. That's your right to do so, right? But if you're going to talk, then I have the right to respond as long as I do it within my First Amendment rights, right? And that's all I'm doing is I'm responding to you through my First Amendment rights. And I'm calling you out on your nonsense. I'm calling you and this entire group out on their nonsense that you folks continue to do to this day. Not as bad because you're in court, but you folks are still, deep down inside, you folks are upset, and you folks want to come at me harder than ever before. But the reason why you're not doing it at the level you used to do it is because we're in court, right? Oh, additionally, so last night the defendant went live. He talked about me for about 15 minutes. He told his audience to not support me and not pay attention to all of this, right? He told his audience to no longer send him information that he could file because it doesn't matter at this point. He's right about that. He's right about that because the motion to dismiss / anti-slap For the motion to dismiss, that's based on, is the complaint valid? The four corners of the complaint. He's right about that, right? As far as the anti-SLAPP goes, he does have to prove that his speech is protected, and I have to prove that it's not. In that case, evidence is relevant only to defamation. So basically, the anti-SLAPP is basically trying to, get the defamation cause of action dismissed. But there are still three other causes of action. And first of all, defamation is not going to be dismissed. The anti-SLAPP is just, it's not going to happen. Not only because of what I initially filed, but especially because of what's happened since I filed up until this past week. Now, this past week, the defendant, along with other people acting in concert, have slowed down significantly. I think they may finally get the hint. But the damage has already been done. The damage has already been done. But yeah, the defendant told his people to not email him. He doesn't want to talk about me, at least, until the end of the year, maybe even going into January. Okay. So, if you're a part of the defendant's audience and you're here watching right now, okay, if you're a part of the defendant's audience and you're here watching right now, you're hearing contradicting statements. At this point, you got to be wondering, has the defendant been telling us the truth? He made such a big deal about January 9th. He put in all of his stock into that, figuratively speaking, right? We've been donating to him because, of what he's been telling us. And he's been going hardcore at Eli. But now, all of a sudden, he wants to slam on the brakes, right? All of a sudden, he now wants to slam on the brakes. Even to people that have supported the defendant, and you can support whoever you want. I'm just saying, even you folks know something isn't sitting right with you. You don't have to like me to understand something isn't sitting right. You folks know better than that. You do, right? So the reason why he now wants to go completely quiet and dark about talking about me is because, first of all, he knows what's coming this week. I'm going to say this again because apparently the defendant has not wanted to tell you folks about the email we got from the judicial assistant. The judicial assistant, when I sent her an email last week asking her about the 9:30 a.m. placeholder on January 9th in the system, because we never agreed to, the court had a court-initiated scheduling change. We were scheduled at 1:30 p.m. on January 9th. The court had a court-initiated scheduling change, and the system automatically, as a placeholder, moved the hearing time to 9:30 a.m. But the judicial assistant emailed us and asked us both, made us aware of the court-initiated scheduling change, and asked us both if we're available for that day, and if we're not, she can give us new dates. I'm not available. So that date is done. The defendant, I emailed him a few weeks back trying to coordinate the new hearing date for March. He told me, no, I'm not agreeing to continuance. He still mentioned continuance on his stream last night. He knows it's not a continuance. This is not a continuance. This is a court-initiated scheduling change. And we both have to agree to it, even for a different time during the same day. So the judicial assistant has now escalated this to the court. The judicial assistant has escalated the situation to the court because I asked her. I said, the hearing still shows 9:30, and I'm not available that day, and the defendant's not able to to make it. She got that email the previous week after the defendant, said that he doesn't agree to the scheduling change. So now she said, I need to escalate this to the court, for further guidance or something of that sort on how to handle this, right? When the JA says she's escalating this to the court, right? Okay, she's referring this to the court. The court in this case, the court translation equals Judge Stacy. So, every courtroom, every judge has their own staff and their own courtroom. That's their court. The judge is referred to as the court. So when the JA, the judicial assistant, says this is being referred to the court for further guidance on how to handle it, she's forwarding this nonsense to Judge Stacy. And I say it's nonsense because of what the defendant has done to drag this on. It's not nonsense per se, but it's not going to look good for him when sometime this week Judge Stacy sees what's going on and decides what happens. And the defendant knows that he knows what's coming, and he's trying to prepare his audience by basically telling them to let's not focus on this for the next 2 months, right? Let's not focus on this for the next 2 months. Well, you'll see what happens this coming week. If it's not this week, it'll be next week. But over the next few weeks, Judge Stacy is going to make a decision on how we handle this hearing. So he basically is trying to convince his audience to just forget about this case, forget about this Eli guy, forget about the whole situation, because he's about to get embarrassed. In my opinion, he's about to get caught with his pants down in a big lie. He's about to lose credibility from people that he's convinced I'm this horrible person and he's the God, Lord, Savior, Messiah of YouTube, right? And so he's basically trying to mitigate damage by doing that. Now, you folks, hey, some of you are going to follow someone like that no matter what they do. Some of you that are reasonable are going to see that you've been played all along. And whatever you decide to do, that's on you. I'm not telling you what to do. All I'm telling you folks is this is what's actually going on. I will correct the record. I will tell the truth. Right? You've all been a part of one big lie, one big facade, and it all leads back to just donations, defamation for dollars, donations, at the expense of defaming someone like me, right? That's all it boils down to, right? But don't take my word for it. Just wait and see what happens either this week or next week. I don't know how long it's going to take Judge Stacy to review what the judicial assistant flagged her regarding setting this hearing date, but a hearing date is so simple to set. A hearing date is so simple to set, right? And I've done my part procedurally, even though the defendant posted on his community wall, saying that he's the one that's procedurally correct. Well, keep that in mind when you see what the judge decides. Right? Keep that in mind when you see what the judge decides. Right? You know, I think the defendant cares more about being embarrassed by his community than what's really happening in the case. Folks, this is a serious, full-blown circuit civil case. This is not a joke. I'm not joking about it. But you can clearly see that the defendant here, in my opinion, cares more about what his audience thinks about him and protecting what I feel, in my opinion, are lies that he's told them to lead them to believe I'm something that I'm not so they can continue to follow him and donate to him. Well, those lies are catching up right now. Those lies will be proven. Those lies will be proven by the court. And whatever the court says is final, right? And again, I'm not trying to convince anyone on the other side regarding anything. I'm just opening up your eyes. I'm opening up your eyes and ears to reality here that you've all been played. You've all been played. And the further and deeper we get into this case, the more you're going to see, in my opinion, how much you've all been played. Give me a second, folks. Just wanted to get past that truck. You were a part of it, MJ. You were a part of it. And for some reason, you're trying to rehash it. You're trying to get some attention back on you, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be talking about me. There's no need to be talking about me. You can talk about me if you want. It's part of your First Amendment rights. But it's one thing for you to come and say, you know, I don't watch you. I don't really watch you, and I don't really talk about you. But you talk about me and you watch me all the time. You contradict your own words. Your actions speak louder than words. You contradict yourself, right? You contradict yourself because this is the only way that, because of the audience that you're sucked into, that I'm trying. The reason why I'm in court is because I want to get away from this. And I've been trying to get away from this for years, and because of how many people the defendant has gotten to act in concert with him, including you. Algorithmically, whenever you folks talk about me, it keeps my content stuck in this drama loop that I want nothing to do with. That's why I'm in court, to stop all of this, including everyone acting in concert, which is considered a third party, which will be held accountable through the protective order, shall I prevail. ODN says, they probably asked him to make those videos, but if they didn't, that makes it worse because they have all made fun of him severely. It makes me think he has Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe so. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if they asked him to make those videos, but I also wouldn't doubt it if he did it on his own. You see, you gotta understand. You gotta understand, ODN, every single one of these people, MJ, the defendant, the other people he works in concert with, all of these people have one thing in common. The one thing all of these people that either create content in the group or just chat participants, right? Or fans, however you want to call it. All of these people are severely, extremely emotionally overreactive. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel every single person in the defendant's group, whether they're creating content in concert with him or they're a part of their, let's call it a fan club, they're all extremely emotionally overreactive. They react to every little thing. It's kind of like, when you take a toy away from a baby, right? All of these people are just big babies. These are all big babies. They're all spoiled brats. They project onto me saying my mother takes care of me and this and that, when every single one of them is taken care of, in my opinion, either by family or by the government. Now, I said that pretty broad. Didn't mention names. So good luck trying to hold me accountable for making a broad statement. Pretty smart way to talk, right? Maybe you folks should learn to be a little more broad. And I'm stating opinion, not fact. 51 minutes. We're going to walk around here another 10, 15 minutes. And then we're going to call it a night. I think they're all I agree. That's exactly what they are, bro. Spoiled brats. They act like they are in grade school. Yep. So we can add MJ to the deposition list. The woman acting in concert will be on the deposition list, right? We're going to also add the former sponsor to the deposition list. Boy, this is going to get really interesting, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm not counting on this, but I'll keep saying it. Settlement is still on the table. One-way conduct-based terms where the court retains jurisdiction, and it's called fee shifting, and it is legal. You look it up. Okay, one-way conduct-based terms. If he continues defaming me, the court will retain permanent jurisdiction through this case. We would dismiss the case with prejudice, but the court would retain jurisdiction over the protective order, which would have fee shifting for every instance that the protective order is violated. Those fees would be $15,000 per occurrence. There will also be a monetary amount. There's an absolute minimal amount that I'm willing to settle for right now. It's not as much as I feel, would be awarded through punitive damages if we ended up going to trial. But it is going to be a decent amount. It's not going to be any chump change. So settlement is still on the table. We go to discovery. We're going to subpoena and depose MJ. We're going to depose the other woman from Florida. We're going to depose the former sponsor. And we're going to subpoena financials from all of these people. If they perjure themselves, it'll be quite obvious. If they perjure themselves, then we'll subpoena their financials to show that they were getting paid specifically to target me. And trust me, there's more than enough proof that I will give to Judge Stacy that will give me a better chance to get those subpoenas. Now, they will be narrowly tailored financial. It's not. They're not going to be a complete financial discovery request. It's going to be a financial discovery request regarding transactions where the people involved were paying the defendant to intentionally make harassing and defamatory content on me. Again, settlements on the table. He could reach out to me by email anytime and say, hey, I want to settle. But be careful. If you reach out and you're open to settling and you just do that to get the number, I don't care if you get the number. You'd have to ask for it first. I'm not going to give out that number publicly, but if you do come to me and say, hey, what's your settlement offer? And I give you that, you'll probably go public with it at that point. And then if you don't accept it, then it's just another piece of paper that I can use against you if you make content off of it, or if you share that publicly in any way, shape, or form, right? So make all the videos you want. MJ, make all the postings you want, everyone. All you folks had to do was stop. All you folks had to do was stop years ago. You didn't stop because all of you felt compelled to prove something to the defendant. And, I mean, I just don't even understand what you felt the need to prove. All of you that have like bowed down to this defendant over the years, and then you've actively joined him in concert to continue the smear campaign on me and the defamations for dollar, or the defamation for dollar campaign. All of you that have contributed to that, I have to ask you, what was the point? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Or did you just think that none of you would ever be held accountable for it through the court of law? That's the real deal right there. The real answer is none of you ever thought, A, I was going to file a full-blown circuit civil case, and B, none of you ever knew I could file things like a junior attorney. This week is going to be very interesting. I'm going to walk up and down this block one more time, then I'm going to wrap this up. We are at 58 minutes. What's that? 50 in the box. Make your videos, MJ. I look forward to watching them. I'll watch you melt down in real time over something that you could have simply just ignored, but you wanted to get yourself involved. You wanted to continue to spread things about me that are not so nice, right? You had the option to just walk away, but no, you wanted to insert yourself. So hey, since you wanted to insert yourself so badly, I'm going to help you with that, because that's what I do. I help people, right? I'm gonna help you with that. This is going to be all the people on the defendant's side, because he'll probably want some people to testify on his behalf, and then I get to cross-examine them, or if it's going to be a deposition, then I get to cross-examine them at a deposition. All these people, I mean, this is going to be interesting, because a lot of these people, like Odienson, in my opinion, they're very spoiled and entitled. They're extremely irresponsible. They have a reckless disregard for the truth, right? They're very insecure. They're immature. A lot of them, in my opinion, are mentally and emotionally unstable, right? You're going to see all these people get cross-examined by me. Either that, or I'm going to subpoena some of them myself and depose them, and then the defendant can cross-examine them if he wants. Well, once I'm done, what's he going to have left to cross-examine them with, right? It never had to get to this point. It should never have to get to the point of where the past. It should never have to get to the point where the past comes back to haunt you. I bet, MJ, you weren't thinking about this happening today, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when you were making those cartoons, getting paid by the sponsor, just like, at least let's call him your former friend, per se, the defendant in the case of my lawsuit. Right? You never thought that your past actions could have consequences, right? Tia says, I cannot believe the defendant tells his audience that the judge will think this is just a YouTube beef. What else is he going to tell them right now, Tia? He has nothing left to tell them because he's about to get exposed by the court. The bottom line is he can continue to lie about me and lead his audience to believe lies about me. But when the court decides, that's final. He knows he has no control over Judge Stacy. Right? At this point right now, his fate over January 9th hangs in the hands of Judge Stacy. It should have never gotten to that point because the judicial assistant handles that. The fact that because he just didn't handle this properly, he's caused so many issues, including this situation, to the point of where the judicial assistant, the GNA, had to forward a simple scheduling thing to the judge. I mean, that's a waste of the judge's time. The judge is going to be like, we're wasting judicial resources here. We are. He knows that's coming. He knows that's coming, Tia. So what else is he going to say? What else can he say at this point? Anything he says is going to be proven wrong by the court and will prove to his audience he's a liar. It'll prove to his audience that he's a liar. He knows it. He has cornered himself. Here's the thing. It's not even me that's cornered him or boxed him in. He's boxed himself in. He has cornered himself and boxed himself in. He only has himself to blame. He had an opportunity to get out of this with no money and some conduct terms just to agree to never slander me again. And he basically said, F you. That's what he said. So, okay. I said F you in my head, and I filed a suit. Right? He had many opportunities to do the right thing. He just kept choosing not to. So it was never going to change unless this case happened. Just to let you know, Eli, the way you look on my Fire TV looks great, crystal clear. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro, Lewis. Well, when I get into some lighting, I'm watching your ads in full. Well, thank you, Lewis. Appreciate that. That's great, Lewis. We're at 64 minutes an hour and 4 minutes. Yeah, he screwed himself. Exactly, Tia. The thing is this. What the defendant did is what he's always done to try to escape liability from other people. Do you think I'm the first person that he's done this to? No. Or the only one? No. He's done this to many people. But he's been able to wear down other opponents to the point of where they just leave YouTube and he gets away with it, right? He tried to do the same thing to me. He tried to wear me down, not only through himself, he amps it up through third parties like the other woman in Florida. Same thing with the filing the stalking case. That was another distraction. Okay, all the stuff that he coordinates with all these people, It's a strategy to try to wear me down so I have no energy left to fight it legally. And the fact that I've kept up and we're at this point right now, to the point of where he's de-escalating, telling his audience that let's just ignore this, we're not going to talk about this. I bet you he'll post about this. I bet he's watching this right now. And I bet you he'll post about it, right? He says one thing and does the complete opposite. Why? Because, like I said, everyone in this group is extremely emotionally overreactive. They cannot let things go. The truth to them is their demise. The truth is their demise, where realistically the truth shall set them free, right? The truth shall set them free. But they don't want the truth because the truth to them destroys their false sense of having a purpose. This whole community that the defendant created, all these people are just, these are just a bunch of, in my opinion, they're just a bunch of B team, C team players that just don't fit in anywhere else. And they've decided to settle to be a part of this because no one else will accept them, not the way that they are. Anyway, I'm gonna go home. It's probably like 48 degrees right now, but I've warmed up. I've got my gloves on. I've got one layer on below my jacket, and I'm actually not really cold. It is cold. I can feel the temperature difference, but my body has warmed up through walking and all that. My lady respectfully, maturely, and professionally says, happiness isn't a place you find. It is a feeling you create. Have a great night, everyone. That's so true, babe. It's all in your mindset, babe. You're right. Happiness is a mindset. You can choose to be happy or you can choose to be miserable, right? Even when we go through negative things, you can choose to say, hey, it is what it is and learn from it and move on, or you can choose to let it drag you down, right? And then become negative Nelly and negative Nancy, right? Over here at the GNA, short for January Networking Association, we want to help you overcome all of those negative emotions, all of those negative thoughts. We want to help you and inspire you to become the best version of yourself that you can be. So it's all good. We've got some young guys over there that are they're seeing me walk around with this selfie stick, and I'm just ignoring them. We're about to go off the air anyway. Yeah, they went the other way. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the stream. Thank you and have a good night, says Tia. Thank you, Tia. Tia, thank you again for your secondary gift to Dawn. Very kind of you. It was unnecessary, but very kind. Snowing pretty good here, says Tia. Oh, wow. So it must be below 32. It must be like 30. Is it in the 20s there? What's the temperature there? Like 20 something? It doesn't snow until it hits 32, which is freezing. Right now in Arlington, Texas, it is 52, and tonight the low will be 32. Hey, Lewis, does it snow where you're at? It does snow where you're at in Arlington, right? 32 is freezing. That's the warmest that snow will happen at 32 degrees. It's 27. Oh, wow, that's cold. Well, yeah, you're going to get snow at 27 degrees usually. That's pretty freaking cold. It's like 48 to 50 here, and I'm complaining about that. If it was 27, I'd be quadruple layered up. I'd have an Under Armour hoodie on, or what do you call it, a beanie on, or something like that. The iPhone would be a popsicle at that point. Yes, it does snow in Arlington, Texas. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky, Lewis. Doesn't snow out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. But It costs us 2 arms and 2 legs to live out here, Lewis. We have to give up our arms and legs to be able to afford it, to have pretty good weather all year round. And then when it gets to like fucking 60 degrees or 58 degrees, we start complaining that it's cold. And to you folks, that's nothing. To you folks on the East Coast, or or in the Midwest and the South, here in the U.S. of A., the good old U.S. of A., it's a wet, heavy snow. I got my guy coming to plow tomorrow. Oh, wow. Tomorrow, I will share one of my videos that I call Winter Storm from Hell. Oh, look forward to it, Lewis. Babe, remind me to check that out. Dawn has become my YouTube video secretary. Dawn's gotten better at this YouTube thing than I have. Yeah. Oh, you should be here when it's in the 20s. You would be bitching by then. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Lewis, I'm bitching right now that it's 50 degrees. I mean, come on, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, at least when I'm a little off, at least I admit it, at least I can admit, when I'm complaining when I really shouldn't, Lewis. It's all in good fun, though, right? Right, bro? I really appreciate you, man. I hope you and your sister and your mother are doing well. I hope your Wi-Fi is working better now, Lewis. Have you fixed your Wi-Fi? What's going on with that, man? How's that been? Yeah. So we're about to go off the air. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.